Welcome back to another episode of the Way Podcast. Today, I have the man, the myth, the legend,
The illustrious.
Andrew Parrott. Uh, Man, me and Andrew go way back. Um, he's an incredible entrepreneur, and also just a great friend and really a great mentor to have in recovery, man. So thank you for joining. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. We were actually just talking about this the other day. I think we met when you were, what did we come up with? Like 13?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
think
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
13.
yeah,
Yeah. So I've known Matt since it was baby Matt.
yeah.
Solid.
That's
Solid. Let's
crazy.
go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me on here, brother. This is awesome.
Yeah, man. Glad to have you. Just real quick, just tell us a little bit about those who don't know Andrew Parrott, who you are and what you do right now.
Andrew Parrott, live in Knoxville, Tennessee. I own Logic Marketing, a few other companies out there. Also, what do I do? I'm a dad. I'm a dad. I'm a friend. I'm a guy in recovery. I'm a guy that just tries to make the world a little bit better, and it just so happens that I found a way to leverage that at a larger scale with marketing. And it was one of those things, as I just progressed in my recovery early on back in 2000, it was a niche that I got into. And so, yeah, but I don't know. It's hard to identify me as just a business guy. I hear entrepreneur and that just sounds like not me, but I
Mhm.
guess to some degree it is.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. So before the business, before Logic, and I know Logic is a pretty big company now, and you got a lot of household names you take care of. Before that, what was life like? Like you grew up in Washington, right?
Grew up in Washington State. Yeah. If it's one of those like journeys that we go on it's so surreal now, but you go back to Washington State. Listen, I was raised, my dad was an orthodontist. I had from like 0 to 8 was solid. Like it was killing it, right? And it was this kind of, big house, all the stuff, and things were good. And then, 8 to 12, things started getting weird. 12, when I was about 12 years old, mom split. It was, my sister went off to college. It was me and my dad staring at each other and lost. And then by age 14, I was a train wreck. At the end of the day, I was so lost. I was out of control, and it was funny because I grew up with all these like normal kids, right? Like it was
Mm.
the baseball and soccer. Everything was like trajectory was supposed to not work out the way it did. And 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 this broken little kid, next thing you know, it's like the only people that I found myself gravitating towards in that early. Like I have 3 kids now, right? And I
Mhm.
think of 14, what I was doing, it's ridiculous. Different era. It
Yeah.
was the latchkey kid world of like, I don't know, where's he at? But but ultimately, the only people that I don't know if I wanted to hang out with them or I just felt comfortable with were these broken kids
Mhm.
in broken house. They resembled nothing of what my life was, right? But it felt comfortable. It felt like we
Mm.
have this brokenness together. And in that environment, it's trailer parks, it's apartment complexes, it's places I felt comfortable in. I didn't want to be in the big house. I didn't want. And it just so happens that in that space, shoot, I'll never forget that I was 14 years old. Older brother shows up at my buddy's apartment, had cocaine on him, went into the bathroom. I had never done drugs. Like I'm drinking, but I didn't count drinking back then. Yeah, you grow up
Mhm.
at whatever. And he walked out, looked at me, and was just like, "Hey, you do coke, right?" I said, "Yes." all
Of
the
course.
time.
Yeah.
I'm the Coke dude. And I remember that door closing behind me. And I just sat there staring at it. And it was one of those, like, just the movies, like, started recycling in my head.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do? Who is, but it wasn't that hard to figure out. And the moment it happened, it was, I can remember looking in the mirror the second, and it was, I had found everything to make the pain go away.
Mm.
Everything to make the hate go away. Everything that made that hurt stuff, that I'm not good enough. The why am I here? The why is mom not here? Oh, I mean, it chokes me up just riffing with you, right?
Yeah.
Like, but the moment that happened, game on.
Hmm. That's what you hear a lot, and like I've had other people come on here and share that like that gradual experience, but for you, like it was just like off to the races.
Off to the races.
Yeah.
100%. It was, I mean, some of it was just availability.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
right? You know, like I was in the environment where it was prevalent, I mean, you know, it's what we see with so many addicts now, right? Which is like it, it made the pain stop.
Mm-hmm.
And it was quick and it was easy and it was there, and you know, and I could talk about nothing for a long time. and and it and that was the only thing that worked. You know,
Mm-hmm.
my parents, you know, at like 10 years old, I was going into therapy. Never did anything. Like, I would sit with these therapists and sit on a couch and tell me about your feelings. It's like, this guy doesn't even have a clue who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But now I'm sitting with these guys in this apartment and they get me.
Yeah.
So,
Man.
yeah, but it was off to the races. And yeah, I mean, where do you go from there? I
Yeah.
mean, you want me to continue the whole process, the
No, so
journey?
just from there, I mean, obviously, I feel like I know, and you know, like where addiction leads us. You know, at what point did you get to like where was your low? Where was your like, okay, wow, this is not fun and not in my friend's apartment anymore. Like this is miserable.
You know, for this guy, it God, I felt like my low was, it was always dark.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was dark without pain. And so I didn't have I mean, all I did was stupid. I mean, it was ridiculous. It got real violent. I was a real violent addict. I was angry, and I was with people that's what was valued. Like, that's what made you have status, right? Like, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the car you had or the money you had or this, you know, how tough are you? And at the end of the day, I believe now, right? Like, we all worship. We all worship, and you're going to have to choose what you worship, because it's going to start to define you.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout that time, I was worshiping this idea of being a monster, because
100%.
everyone was a monster.
Yeah.
Like, we were all just crazy wolves. But I didn't have, I mean, my war stories, I hate talking about them because none of them are real fun. It's a scared 12-year-old kid that wishes he didn't hate himself,
Yeah.
you know? And when it got, I mean, the real bad is really just cultural consequences that occurred. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's going, you know, dad coming to bail me out, totaling this car, going to jail, doing the, like, it was systematically this, just all these negative things happening. I mean, I went to 5 different high schools. I dropped out of my fourth one, and ended up in Bristol, Tennessee, which is super surreal as you go down the whole path. But my father was born and raised in East Tennessee, and we were in Washington State, and he saw a kid that was dying and just wanted to do anything he could to save him. So we
Mm-hmm.
brought him back to East Tennessee after I dropped out of high school, and sat me down. Can you please get your diploma?
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but you know, after that, it got it got just as bad as it was when I was young. It was just less. I had less people that seemingly cared what was happening to me,
Mm-hmm.
which felt lonelier. I was crazier as the disease progressed. But I became very apathetic about it as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I would say, I mean, I guess I'm kind of riffing in real time, I didn't really prepare, but if as I'm talking, the lowest part of my entire addiction was December 20th, 1999, which was the last day I used.
Mm.
Um, it was just a dark time, and that story is surreal in and of itself.
So walk me through that last day.
I'd probably been up for 3, 4 days and was with some dudes, and we were in it. It's Tucson, Arizona. So set the stage. We're on Speedway, which is kind of the equivalent of Kingston Pike in Tucson, right? So it's just a major thoroughfare that runs through Tucson. And I had this little blue pickup truck that I'd gotten, and I had a few people with us, and we'd just been rolling for days. And there was this minivan on the side that was next to us, and it kind of, this is pre cell phone, so it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a texting swerve, but that's the best way I could describe it. It came close to my vehicle, and apparently in my head, it was a threat. And so I ran him off the road, and I hopped out of my truck, and I ran over to this guy. And this dude's probably, I'm making this up, but mid 30s. Like, I don't know how old he was, but he's a Hispanic dude sitting in a minivan. And I just started wearing him out. And I pulled him out of his minivan, and cops showed up, and they threw me in handcuffs. And this dude was hurt. He was bleeding, and I'm in handcuffs, two cops around me, staring at this guy who, in that moment, I just wanted to kill. Like, for no reason. It was just, it's that hurt people hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he looked at us, and they were saying, we want to press charges on this kid. And he looked at us and said, no, I just want to see my family. And those words, for some reason, it's like, I now he like I look back, and that dude was such an angel, and this was my God moment, but I had no idea, because at this point in my life, I couldn't hate God more. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, loathed. And but that's what happened. And when he said that, everything, man, got so crystal clear. I was done. I was done. They still booked me because my truck was running, so they hit me with like a DUI, or under the influence. Took me to the police station. I can the whole time, cop car, police station. Like, I did not. There was not a care in the world. Like, I wasn't irritated. I was so dialed in that I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I got back to this little squat apartment I was staying at, and man, I took it all. Like, I was not never a pill guy, but I had a lot. Every perk, every fucking, and I had a big old bottle of codeine. Drank all that, and I was an old crow guy. Finish it off with that, and I remember I was just laying in that bed, and it was like, finally, it's done. And in that moment, you know, I talk about this if I'm speaking to someone, but it was weird because I never prayed ever, but I was sitting on that bed, and I wasn't praying to live. I was grateful to die.
Mm-hmm.
And but I was talking to something. I was and I was just saying I'm sorry. I was done. Here's a little kid who had everything. You know, Dad did everything he could. I was broken. Like, and I just let whatever I was praying to or talking to, I just let him know it's okay. Like, this guy is bad. And there's no coming
Mm-hmm.
back. And that was it. And in that, and I thought it was over. But next morning, turns out the body wants to live, or something wants. There's something bigger than me out there.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happened, I woke up the next morning. I had obviously, not knowing what was going on, but I woke up and I'd gone both direction. I essentially just overdosed in my sleep.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
body just tried to save itself, and I woke up, And my first thought in that moment, now we're on December 21st, was I just, it was almost laughing at like, I can't even do this. Right. And, and that led to me. I crawled in this living room. I had a 45. Man, I was like, well, I know the right way to do this. And you talk about God showing up again, man. All of a sudden, there I am sitting. I took a picture of myself. I had a camera. I took a picture of myself. I'm crying. I'm detoxed. I vomit on me. I throw the camera. I grab my 45, and all of a sudden, the phone rings. And and in the moment, here I am holding a loaded 45, and the phone rings. And my first thought was like, "Ooh, that could be something important. I should probably check that out, right?" And I picked up the phone, and my sister, who never called, she was in London at the time. First words out of her mouth: "What's going on? Something's wrong."
Mm.
I mean, again, God moment, God moment, God, and I couldn't see it. And that was the dike broke. And when the dike broke, it was just like, I started just sharing, like I was four-stepping.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
this, and I'm here, and this, and I'm going to kill myself. And then my sister, who, I mean, was essentially didn't know it, but was saving my life, went into her therapeutic mode of violently cursing me out and telling me that you can't kill yourself, F this, F that, da 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 da. And she said she was on a computer and she found a phone number of a 12-step program. And she said, write this down. And she said, start writing. Call this number. Don't kill yourself. Don't kill yourself. And I hung up the phone. I called that number, and a woman answered. And I can remember after I said some nonsense, she just said, "Can you stay clean for 15 minutes?" And I said, "I'm not going to be alive in 15 minutes." She said, "I know where you're at. Start walking south. Go to that McDonald's. We got someone on the way."
Really? That's cool, man.
Dude, this was back in like, this is pre-cell phone. This
Yeah.
is like, they had a map on at the headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
They had people like, 12-step people all organized. Dude, it
Yeah.
was the cool. And a total stranger came and picked me up at McDonald's. I freaked out for a minute. He laughed at me and he said, "Brother, I'm just here to save your life." And he passed me on. I went to probably 4 or 5 12-step meetings, passed me on, passed me off, passed me off. Now, mind you, I'm already feeling twitchy. And these like 3 or 4 young dudes, I mean, they may have been my age, but they seemed young.
Mm-hmm.
They took me to their apartment, put me in a room, and I detoxed for December 21st, 22nd, 23rd. So on the 24th, I left. They detoxed me in that room, and I wrecked that place.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. I can only imagine.
Wrecked it. And you know what? Not one negative thing.
Mm-hmm.
Total strangers, man.
Saved your life.
Saved my life.
Yeah.
Didn't pay him a dime. Didn't do it. Again, God moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That it was long-winded, but
no, that's good.
We all went on a nice little journey.
Yeah, that's good, man. So then from there, you didn't go to treatment or anything. You just went to meetings.
I went to meet. So from there, and this gets fuzzy, but they put me on a plane. My sister got back to San Francisco. She said she coordinated something. She was like, "I'll take him." So then I hung out in San Francisco with her, and I pretty much just kind of lost my mind there for a while. And after about maybe a week with her, she was like, "Okay, I've had my fill."
Yeah.
Then I was up in Washington with my dad, and my dad, that's when I really started hitting meetings.
Yeah.
So I had like one day, December 21st, like 5 meetings. Then I had detox in a silly apartment. Then I had sitting in another apartment in San Francisco for about a week. And then I got to Washington, and that's when I started going to meetings like every day.
It's awesome, man.
So wild times, man.
Yeah.
And one of the most surreal moments that speaks out is when I had like 6 months clean, And I'm sitting there with my father, and we're sitting in his house, and I'm trying to get my life together. And he was like, why do you still, why you're still acting weird and this and that. And at 6 months clean, I still remember just grabbing my hair and ripping it out of my head and going, because I feel like I'm still losing my mind. You know what I mean? But
Mm.
there was still this like crazy disease in me, but I had such ballers in my corner in early recovery, and they just like, don't stop, keep
Yeah.
going forward. Like that early recovery wasn't pretty, but the people in my corner were gorgeous, man. They would not give up on me, and I haven't used since. So my first day clean was December 21st, 1999, and I haven't had a beer or drug
Man,
since.
I was like 7 months old. It's very cool. That's awesome.
That's so good.
Man, so from there, you start picking up a little bit of clean time. Walk me through how logic comes about.
Golly. So, I mean, I was a super awesome salesman. I was selling shoes at Big Five Sporting Goods. I was working at Toys R Us. I was working at a restaurant where I'd go. So I had 3 jobs, no car, riding a bike, broke as I feel like I've ever been, working harder than ever, going to meetings. And it was wide open. It was so
Mm-hmm.
good. I got a couple years clean and headed out to the West Coast. I was in LA, and this whole like digital revolution was kind of happening. This internet stuff, like internet's definitely around, but it's not like it. I mean, it's nothing like today, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there was a niche going on, and there was just these cool people talking about like digital marketing as a whole, and these sort of circles I was with in LA. And it was cool. It was new. And as I talked to them, and I was like, well, what are you doing with this? They're like, we're just kind of making it up as we go. Like, no one knows what we're doing. It's almost magic, right? And really, all I was hearing is like, oh, this is just a hustle.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is my jam. Like, if I can sell shoes like a champ, I can obviously sell something that people don't even understand like a champ. And then now you flash forward. Back in Tucson. The real estate boom is happening. It's a great market where people love to be able to promote themselves, and they're looking for all these avenues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is back in Yellow Pages, like Yellow Pages, newspaper, TV, radio were really your conduits of media.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a cool thing that was created that I could sell that was just different, that no one was ever like really getting pitched. And so that's how it started. I started building up a company in Tucson, doing all this digital marketing, and it was focused primarily on realtors, but I started to expand outside of that. And as that started growing, like now I've got a little house. Now I've got this girl who I like. I got a little girl. Like now I've got like a 1 year old. I've got this amazing woman, and things are just really rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of the birth of Logic. And then Scripps out in Knoxville found me, and got out. I flew out, and it was at the News Sentinel. They had a digital media group out there. Met with them, and on the spot they offered me the job. And I looked around the area, and I just fell in love with Knoxville, just to like raise a
Mm-hmm.
family.
Yeah.
And so wife was, or no, she wasn't wife then. She was at the house, and I called her up and told her I'm buying a house while I'm here. And we literally got a house, and I had a little flip phone with a little camera on it. I drove around the neighborhood taking really bad video. I said, "There, yeah, this is your new house." She said,
Cool,
"Let's
man.
go."
It's
So
awesome.
that was 2006. And then we came out here in 2007. During this whole time of I'm starting a company, or a company's growing, I've got now a 4-year old who is rolling, about to start kindergarten. I've got a wife gets pregnant. I'm also doing like 18 hours in college at the time. I had it mapped out for just efficiencies, where I would have to drive my car to this one parking spot, take my bike out of the truck, ride my bike into campus, hit all my classes, this is like pre-online school,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was the craziest time ever, man. And it was just full throttle. And I loved it. I could not have asked for better. It was great.
It's awesome, man. So now, at this stage with Logic, what do you have going on? And most importantly, I want to ask you, how did the Danny interaction happen to where we've ended up with Hayden, who we had on here?
I love it. I love it. Danny's a great guy. I got a call from Danny. Oh my gosh. It was probably maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I was in the office. And one part of Logic is we have fabrication where we do these massive fiberglass projects and that. And I get a call from a guy and I picked up the phone and said, hey, and it starts off like, hey, this is Danny Duncan. And I'm like, I'm right in the middle of work, right? I'm like, all right. I have no idea who this is at all. And it was funny. The next thing he asked is like, how old are you? I was like, what? It's like, at the time, 45, 44, whatever. And he was like, "Oh, you probably don't know who I am. I'm a YouTuber." So of course I'm instantly on the computer as he's talking. I look him up. I'm like, "What? This guy's crazy big online." And we just started this conversation and started hitting it off. Then I'd go down to Inglewood. He's got projects going down there. He came up to Pigeon Forge in Knoxville. We'd hang out up here. So we really just built this. I mean, we come from very different backgrounds. I mean, here's a guy who's never drank, never used drugs. He's wild. Like you wouldn't
Hmm.
think that, but his soul is just awesome. And when you really get to know him, you're talking to this like authentic human being who truly, although he's so goofy on all of his videos, he just wants to make the world better, right? And so that was how we met. That's how Danny and I sort of became friends. And now we're just, we talk to each other about life and how things are going and where he's going. It just, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought that was turned off. Boom. Sorry about that. We'll edit that out. So yeah, so that's how Danny and I met. And then ultimately the way we got to Hayden is he's just doing a YouTube skit.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there, whatever he does to brainstorm what they're going to do next. And he goes to the jail and no idea who Aiden is. Wants to we're going to it's good content. We're going to bail a guy out of jail. So they find a guy, bail him out of jail. And this kid he meets, he really likes him. But this kid is just broken and he's an addict and he doesn't know which way is up. Well, Danny wasn't ready for that. And
Yeah.
so out of everyone that he could have called, he calls me and says, "Can you help this kid?" And I was like, well, we're going to try,
Hmm.
you know?
Try.
That's
Yeah.
when we met. I mean, and I called you and I mean, now you flash forward, he was in jail. I'm talking to him in jail. I'm walking him through like what it looks like to get clean and what life is like. And finally in jail, he gives me the green light like I'm in and you and I are talking and all of a sudden like the way started doing things that were it, it was amazing. Everything that everything that you and the way we're able to put together and how hard you guys worked
Hmm.
to get Hayden, a guy you don't know, from Florida up to Knoxville to Cook to Crossville
Hmm.
to save his life. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the power of this program and the power of your soul and what you are willing to do. I mean, Dan, I talked to him yesterday. I mean, he still is just like I'm blown away of how much you guys have done and are doing for him. It's a miracle in and of itself and absolutely fantastic.
It's been well, we've talked a bunch. It's been a ride taking care of Hayden and trying to help Hayden out, but man, it's been so rewarding to see somebody that like, I mean, just like me, just like you, like that 99% of people would count out and say, man, no shot that guy's gonna die from his disease, and you get to watch this transformation happen. You get to just watch this new person. I mean, it's like when Danny was here, he was like, I don't even recognize this kid.
No,
You know, like you just
changed.
really
He's a
don't.
different
And
human.
yeah,
Right. I mean, it boils down to like, I mean, you kept loving him
yeah,
when
yeah.
he didn't love himself. Just kept loving him.
That's what it is, man.
Facts. 100%. And it's so good, man. I mean, his transformation's incredible. What you guys constantly did and are doing is incredible. And the fact that Danny sees that, and it's not just Danny, it's every kid and every person that can look at this brokenness. And I think that brokenness resides in all of us.
Mm-hmm.
It's and it's often like diminished because we have self-love and those in our corner that love us. But when that self-love is dead, man, it's hard to hear other people love you.
Yeah,
And you guys, man, just keep loving
yeah.
and making miracles.
I think it's so simple, and we try to overcomplicate it, and it's as easy as like why we're called the way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's as easy as like no matter how many different things that I've tried in my life to fill that hole, like you talked about that feeling of being like 12, 13 years old. And well, these kids, like I got this different feeling, but then I was still left empty, you know, or like this drug did this, but then I was still left empty. And in my entire life and everything that I've searched and ran for, there's only been one solution, and that's knowing Jesus. And that's what's changed everything for me. And you see these guys that come in and these women that come in, and what changes for them? Like, what makes the big difference? Like, yeah, we have a program, we have structure, like you go to class, you learn this, but at the end of the day, like the ones that you see that are radically changed, they've come to know Jesus, you know? And
So good.
that's what's been incredible to watch, man. And speaking of, I know that you go to church here in town, you have a church. Last couple minutes, let's just, what's your faith like today? Earlier I heard you say, you know, inactive addiction, your relationship with God was not great, like most of us. So how has that changed, and how has that kind of progressed over the last so many years? I guess 27 years almost.
26. Yeah, almost
Yeah,
20,
almost
27 this year.
26 and a
Yeah,
half.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. You know, it's funny cuz I had over 10 years in recovery and still couldn't talk about God.
Mm-hmm.
Um I mean, it was a rough one because it was I couldn't cross the bridge for some reason. And then the truth is I had a sponsee who I met on day one, first second NA meeting. That's a long story. That he walked in, he asked me to be a sponsor, and I just gave him his 13-year medallion last night.
It's awesome.
Yeah, his name's Adam. He's amazing. And when I met Adam, Adam was a Christian, and I still had it was one of those like, oh, you're a Christian? You can have that, God. That's fine, but we'll get there. You'll soon come to see the light of how great my higher power is, right?
Yeah.
And after about a year of working with Adam, one night we were working his steps, and he's okay with me sharing this, so this isn't breaking any sort of anonymity. We were sitting in my house and working his steps, and I tell you, Matt, all of a sudden I just started crying. Like these weren't my steps. I don't even think we were working step 2. you know, but for whatever reason, Adam was sitting on a couch. I was sitting in a chair. I'm start crying. And he looks up at me and he's like, what did I do wrong? Like, what's going on? And I just said, I don't know what's happening right now, but I need you to pray for me. And he looked at me and he goes, I've never done that with another man. And I went, well, you're the only one here that knows anything about this. So if you don't do it, we're out of luck and I've got to have it happen. And I'm making it funny, but in the moment, man, it was so overpowering.
Mm-hmm.
And he just jumped into action, man. He goes, well, I guess we got to get on our knees. And we did. We got on our knees in my living room. And he just started praying. And I don't know how long it lasted. It felt like an eternity and a second all wrapped up in one. And that was, I don't know if it was my soul or just God's time, but in that moment, all of a sudden, like, not only was the door revealed, but the door was unlocked and pushed open, and it became and that's allowed me the opportunity to walk through that door with some courage. And and now, I mean, shoot, it's like I'm teaching at a, I mean, you flash forward now, I'm teaching at a firm camp for a week coming up. I've been a president of our, on the board of our church. We're
Mm-hmm.
doing all kinds of things with, food pantries. Shout out to Faith Lutheran. And it's like, you know, God in my life now is like the wet part of the ocean. It's like, without it, what is there? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it truly is. It's every moment. I walked out of the gym. I pray every day. I meditate every day. I journal as often as I can. Hard to say every day, but I try.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I read scripture probably every day. But this morning I walked out of the gym. The sun was rising, birds were flying, and I just stopped and let the sun drape over me. And God and I sat there for probably 5 minutes just having a conversation. That was
Awesome.
this morning.
Yeah.
It's the best. And it's my relationship with God, and being able to follow Jesus is given not only purpose, but it's relieved the fear. I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe that there is a burning bush moment. I don't think that God gives these like, ooh, this moment. I think it's all a burning bush. I think everything is magical. I tell people often, God's either everything or nothing. And the way I view God is, it is a loving, kind, amazing thing watching after all of us. And when I put all those pieces together, it's incredible how every single moment, regardless of what this ego or mind thinks should be happening,
Mm-hmm.
it's all perfect. So
Man,
it makes life, man. I'm telling you, jump in the
yeah,
water. It feels good.
it's awesome, man. Real quick before we leave, I want to give you a chance. If you were sitting here today and you were looking at Andrew on December 19th or December 20th, 1999, what would you say to him?
God, it's funny you say that, and like my eyes well. Um, I wouldn't interrupt his journey, but I'd pass him a note that just said it's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'd want him to, and I would hope I took it, and I would hope that I threw it in a shoebox, and I'd hope I'd be able to go to it in the garage one day and open that up and go, God, like, it turned out all right.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome, man. Andrew, I love you, man.
Brother, I love you. Thank
Thanks
you
for
so much.
thanks
It's
for
been
joining
solid.
me. Guys, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Woo.